Chandamama Ramayana. Bala Kanda Part 2. Rishyasringa arrived and remained as a guest of Dashratha. A few days passed, and the spring season commenced. Dashratha addressed Rishyasringa, saying, "Pray, commence and conduct the sacrifice now." Rishyasringa consented. Elaborate preparations were undertaken for the Ashwamedha Yajna. Great sages and eminent Brahmins, including Suyagya, Vamdeva, Jabali, and Kashyapa, were summoned to perform the rituals and chant the Vedas. Vasishtha and other elders prescribed the necessary materials for the rite. A capable guardian was dispatched to accompany the sacrificial halls. A sacrificial hall was erected on the northern bank of the river Saryu. Carpenters, masons, painters, and dance masters were engaged to participate in the ceremonial proceedings. Palatial mansions were built for the visiting kings, while cottages were prepared for the Brahmins, along with spacious pavilions for dining. Invitations were sent to all monarchs and to people of all four Varnas. Special invitations were extended to Janaka, the king of Mithila, the king of Kashi, the king of Kekya, who was Dashratha's father-in-law, and Romampadha. Sumantra personally travelled to invite many of the kings. All the invited guests arrived and settled in their respective quarters. On an auspicious day and at a favourable hour, Dashratha arrived at the sacrificial hall. The ritual commenced. The first offering was dedicated to Indra, and the sacred fire ceremony proceeded. The hall bustled with the presence of guests. Food was served in great abundance. Without discrimination of Varna, all were fed to their satisfaction, and garments were distributed as charity. The Ashwamedha was a 3-day sacrifice. Upon its canonical conclusion, Dashratha offered the entirety of the earth as a gift to the priests who had conducted the yajna. They replied to the king, "O great king, governing the earth is not a task suited to us. Therefore, in lieu of land, pray grant us gems, gold, cattle, or whatever else is readily available." Dashratha then donated 10 lakh cows, 100 crore gold coins, and 400 crore silver coins. The Brahmins offered all the wealth they received to Rishyasringa and Vasishtha, who distributed it among everyone in appropriate shares. At that moment, a destitute Brahman approached and stretched forth his hand before Dashratha. The king immediately removed his golden bracelet and gave it to him. All the Brahmins blessed Dashratha. Following the conclusion of the Ashwamedha, Rishyasringa had Dashratha perform the Putrakamishti Yagna. All the deities arrived and took their assigned seats to receive the oblations offered into the sacred fire. At that time, the gods appealed to Brahma, describing the tribulations inflicted upon them by Ravnasura. Brahma replied, "The wicked Ravana sought a boon of immortality against gods, Danvas, Gandharvas, Yakshas, and Rakshasas. However, out of disdain for mortals, he did not seek protection from death at the hands of humans. Behold, here is Lord Mahavishnu. He shall be born as a son to one of Dashratha's wives and, in human form, shall slay Ravnasura." The deities were filled with supreme joy. Suddenly, a celestial being of dazzling brilliance emerged from the sacrificial fire, holding a vessel in his hands. The vessel was crafted of pure gold with a silver lid. The being addressed Dashratha, saying, "O king, the deities have filled this vessel with payasam prepared by them. I have brought this by the command of Prajapati. If you give this payasam to your wives, they shall conceive and bear sons." Dashratha, with great devotion and joy, received the vessel and circumambulated the celestial being in prostration. The being then vanished. Dashratha gave half of the payasam in the vessel to Kausalya. Of the remaining half, he gave a portion to Sumitra. Of what remained after that, he gave a portion to Kaikeyi, and finally, he gave the remaining payasam again to Sumitra. Soon thereafter, Kausalya, Sumitra, and Kaikeyi became pregnant. While Lord Mahavishnu was preparing to manifest in human form, the gods, by the command of Brahma, created Vanaras capable of assuming any form. To Indra was born Vali, to Surya, Sugriv, to Brihaspati, Tara, to Kuber, Gandhamadana, to Vishwakarma, Nala, to Agni, Nila, to the Ashwini Devas, Manda and Dvivida, to Varuna, Sushena, to Parjanya, Sharbha, and to Vayu, Hanuman. All of them were mighty leaders of the Vanaras. Thousands of other Vanaras were born to other deities. Along with the Vanaras, bears and langurs were also born for the destruction of Ravana. These Vanaras settled near the Rishamukha mountain, with Vali and Sugriv as their kings, and Nala, Nila, and Hanuman as their ministers. In the 12th month following the Putrakamishti, on the 9th day of the bright fortnight of Chatra Shuddhanavami, under the star Punarvasu, Kausalya gave birth to Rama. Under the star Pushyami, Bharat was born to Kaikeyi. Under the star Ashlesha, at midday, Sumitra gave birth to Lakshman and Shatrughna. The citizens of Ayodhya celebrated with great fervor. The streets were crowded with people, dancers, and singers. Dashratha performed innumerable donations of cows and food. The 4 children grew up gradually. Though born of different mothers, Rama and Lakshman were always together. They ate together and slept in the same place. Similarly, Bharat and Shatrughna were always seen as a pair. All 4 studied the Vedas and Shastras, mastered the art of archery, and reached youth while serving their father with devotion. Dashratha began consultations with his ministers and priests regarding their marriages. While the king and ministers were in these deliberations, the gatekeepers arrived in haste and announced, "O great king, the sage Vishwamitra, son of King Gadhi of the Kushika lineage, has arrived at the gate seeking your audience." Dashratha immediately went forth with his priest to welcome Vishwamitra, worshipping him with traditional offerings of water. Vishwamitra inquired after the welfare of the king and his subjects, and after greeting Vasishtha and the other sages, he entered the palace and took an exalted seat. "O great sage, your arrival has brought me immense joy. What service may I render unto you?" Dashratha asked. Vishwamitra, pleased by these words, said, "O king, fulfill the purpose of my visit and prove yourself a man of your word. I commenced a sacrifice, but two powerful and valiant Rakshasas are desecrating my sacrificial altar by pouring blood and flesh upon it, thereby ruining my vow. Had I yielded to anger and cursed them, my vow would have been broken. Therefore, I have come here. Send your eldest son, Rama, with me. This youth shall protect my yajna from being disrupted by those Rakshasas, Maricha and Subahu. Rama can easily slay them." Vasishtha is also aware of this truth. Upon hearing these words, Dashratha's heart was shattered. Fear and grief overwhelmed him. He rose from his throne, trembling, and said, "O great sage, Rama is but a child. He has not yet reached 16 years of age. He has not even mastered the art of archery fully. How can he wage war against Rakshasas? I possess an Akshauhini army. I myself shall come and slay those demons. Pray, who are these Rakshasas? What is their stature? Whose sons are they?" To this, Vishwamitra replied, "You know the Rakshasa king Ravana. He has acquired great powers by pleasing Brahma. This Ravana is the son of Vashrava and the brother of Kuber. When he does not personally disrupt the sacrifices, he dispatches these powerful ones, Maricha and Subahu. Alas! Ravana! I myself cannot stand before him. How then shall the child Rama endure? It is entirely improper to send Rama against such a mighty power," cried Dashratha. Vishwamitra's eyes grew red with anger. "O king, live happily with the infamy of being one who breaks his word," he declared, rising abruptly to leave. Then Vasishtha counselled Dashratha, saying, "O king, you are committing an unworthy act. By breaking your word, you bring a stain upon the Ikshvaku lineage. Who do you think Vishwamitra is? There is no weapon unknown to him. He is capable of creating new weapons as well. Do you think he came all this way because he could not slay those Rakshasas himself? He has come for the welfare of your sons. Send Rama with him without anxiety. No harm shall befall him while he is with the sage." Bolstered by these words, Dashratha summoned Rama and Lakshman and entrusted them to Vishwamitra. As Vishwamitra walked ahead, the elegantly adorned Rama and Lakshman followed him one after the other. Both carried bows. Their hands were protected by guards made of iguana skin, and their fingers were similarly shielded. Carrying swords, they followed behind Vishwamitra. The second part of the Chandamama Ramayana is complete. For now, Swasti.